I really thought I could pull off the cute short braids thing, but I'm pretty sure I just look like Pippi Longstocking. But we're gonna go with it. Hello everybody, my name is Kara, and today I'm here with my October reading plans, or at least some of them. So I'm doing something a little bit different with this TBR, but before I get into that, I wanted to mention again what my t-shirt says, because I know that could be very distracting if you can't read all of it. It's my Inez Milholland t-shirt that says, "Mr. President, how long must women wait for liberty?" It was like a special like centenary of the 19th Amendment. It's also a super comfy shirt. So like I said, I'm doing something a little bit different with this TBR because I, as usual, have a ton of readathons that I want to participate in, and then a lot of books that I have picked out for challenges and things like that, and obviously, like, hopefully I would love to get to all of them. But I've also been feeling a little bit like I want more freedom in what I pick up or what I read. Like, honestly, things have not been great recently, and I feel like reading needs to be an area where I eliminate as much stress as possible. But I still do really want to participate in these readathons, especially since several of them are doing like really important work by like highlighting marginalized authors and things like that. So I definitely still want to participate in them. So what I decided to do is I went on Twitter and I asked you guys to pick different numbers between 1 and 21, I think was the numbers I gave you. And I would take the first 7 of those numbers, and those are the books that I would share with you from my TBR. So I still have plans for the other challenges of books that I want to read, but by not like verbally committing myself to reading them, I feel like I still get to choose to pick them up. I know it's weird, but we're gonna try it. I'm really excited about it. And I'm probably gonna do a mid-month reading check-in video. So I haven't decided yet if I am going to like share the rest of the books that I want to read for my TBR or like what's gonna happen. Like, I don't know if it would take away some of the fun of getting to choose numbers if you just end up hearing about all the books anyway. So let me know if you have an opinion on that. We'll see. We'll see what happens later in the month. And I think I actually ended up with 10 or 11 rather than 7 because I just felt bad about like, you know, telling people that sorry, I already picked 7, and there were still a few people after who replied, so I'm very sorry if you replied after I like officially stopped taking numbers, but I do hope to do this again if I enjoy it and it goes well. So maybe I'll save those numbers for another round that I do. I also think I probably want to do a version through the YouTube community tab because I know not everyone is on Twitter. So anyway, we'll see. I'm excited about this new method. Let's get into the books. It actually worked out perfectly because I have at least one from every readathon, and some of them have more than that. So I'll definitely get to talk about every readathon, which is really cool. So the first readathon I'm participating in, all of these, by the way, except for one, run for the entire month of October. So the 1st through the 31st, which is really great. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the Ace Race, which is all about reading books featuring asexual characters. And this is being hosted by Nina at Illustrative Pages, Rue at Rue's Reading Corner, Celeste at The World of Reading, and Lillian at Books and Bracelets. I think this is a really great readathon. Asexual characters in books is not something that we see a lot of, so I think this is so great that they are highlighting them. So Ariel from Ariel Enchanted picked the number 2, and that corresponds with The Princess Who Didn't Eat Cake by S.L. Dove Cooper. But this is a really short ebook. It is a fairy tale that kind of explains the concept of demisexuality, and then there's also an essay at the back and recommendations for books that feature asexual or demisexual characters. And I'm using this for the prompt that is demi or gray sexual representation. And spoiler alert, I actually already read this one. I really loved it, so this, you will be hearing about this one in my wrap-up for sure. And then Anna Reed's picked number 3, and that is The Spy with the Red Balloon by Catherine Locke. This is a companion novel, I believe, to The Girl with the Red Balloon. Okay, sorry, my battery died, so I had to change that, so I'm sorry if the angle or something is different. But I was on The Spy with the Red Balloon by Catherine Locke. I think this is a companion novel to The Girl with the Red Balloon, which I read, was that last year or 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago, but I really loved it. It was one of my favorite books of the year. And this is for one of the voices prompts, which is to read a book by a trans/non-binary author, and Catherine Locke is non-binary. I believe this novel takes place during World War II, and we follow, I think, a brother and sister. I don't remember which of the characters is asexual. I think it might be Ilsa, the sister, and I think they end up being spies who are fighting against Nazi Germany. And I imagine this is going to be a quite intense book, but I really loved book 1, so I feel like book 2 is going to be really good as well. By the way, I will link all of the information about the readathons and the host. All the people I mentioned will be linked down below. And for the Ace Race readathon, there's like rules about which prompts you can stack and which ones you can't, so check out that information down below as well. And then Allie from Allie with Books picked number 5, and that is The Sound of Stars by Alicia Dow. I am really, really excited about this one. I've been hearing really good things about it. Also, I think this is just like one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen. So this is a sci-fi kind of dystopian novel, but I've heard it's like soft, quiet dystopian, which makes me happy because I'm not a fan of dystopian or post-apocalyptic or anything like that. But I think I'm gonna like this one because it's more like soft and like character focused is what I've heard. Like the tagline on the front says, "Can their love of books and pop music save the world?" And I just feel like this is going to be my kind of sci-fi post-apocalyptic. One of our main characters is a black girl who is, I believe, also the asexual character. And this book is set after, I think, aliens have taken over Earth. So things are really bad. But she ends up teaming up with one of the aliens, and they both are trying to, I think, save Earth with their love of books and pop music, because I think artistic expression is forbidden in this world. I feel like I'm gonna really like the main relationship, and I feel like I'm gonna really like the things that this book says about art and expression and like the importance of emotion and storytelling. So like I said, I think this is gonna be right up my alley. And this counts for the genre prompt of science fiction and the voices prompt of a Black author. Moving into another readathon, that is Blackaweenathon. Again, this is for the whole month of October. I'll tell you when we get to the one that isn't. And this was created by Bree at Locked Booktition and is being co-hosted by Bree and also by Ashley at Bookish Realm. And the whole premise of this readathon is celebrating Black authors for genres that we don't usually center them, and that includes spooky books like Halloween themed books, but also just other genres in general. And Katie at Deceived Homes picked number 9, and that is Patina by Jason Reynolds. This is the second book in the Track companion series. I read the first book last month or the month before, and I really loved it. I have loved everything I've read from Jason Reynolds, as I say every time, so I'm pretty excited about this one. And I also really liked Patina's character when we saw her in the first book, so I'm excited about this. And I'm using this for the free space prompt. I don't know if we actually had to pick a book for the free space, but I really wanted to, so I'm really excited to read this one. And Jenny at Female Donkey 10 actually picked number 10, and that corresponds to PSB11 by Rita Williams Garcia. This is another sequel of a book that I loved for middle grade magic, and I kind of copied this from Ashley's TBR actually, because I was looking for historical fiction that I had by Black authors, and I had forgotten that this actually is historical fiction because it takes place in, I think it's the 60s. So yeah, I loved book 1, really excited to get to book 2. This is a trilogy, and I'm gonna try and actually stay on top of the series that I'm starting. We'll see how long that lasts. And then moving into Victober, this is a Victorian literature themed readathon that I have actually never participated in before, but I am looking forward to it. The hosts are Katie at Books and Things, Lucy at Lucy the Reader, and Kate at Kate Howe. So like I said, this is all about reading Victorian literature, and Lee from Lee Nicole picked number 12, and that is The Light Princess by George MacDonald. This is a fairy tale. I really love The Light Princess musical, and I have never read the original, and I've been meaning to for a long time, so I'm really excited to get to that. And the prompt that I'm using for that is Katie's prompt, which is to read a Victorian book that equates to your favorite modern genre. So I'm using this to represent fantasy, and also kind of like fairy tales or fairy tale retellings, because I also really love reading those. Alicia from Pretty Brown Eye Reader picked number 14, and that is our Past It Classics pick for October, which fits beautifully into Victober, and that is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I am using this for the Reader's Challenge, which is to read a book that was previously on one of your Victober TBRs, or to read a Victorian book that you've been meaning to read for ages. I'm kind of bending this a little bit, because technically I haven't been meaning to read this for ages. I actually DNF'd this book when I was really young. I was probably around 12 or 13 when I tried to read this. I got halfway through and I could not deal with Mr. Rochester, so I just stopped reading it. So technically I wasn't like intending to come back to this until it ended up being one of our book club picks, but I'm still gonna count it because I think starting this book like 12 plus years ago counts as I've been meaning to read it forever, even if I didn't necessarily have plans to read it until it ended up being our book club pick. Yeah, so a lot of people love Jane Eyre, so I'm really curious to see how I feel about this book this time around. I will definitely be finishing it because it's for a book club, and I will actually be the host for this discussion. It's going to be on my channel. The date is still TBD, so be sure to follow us on Twitter, or if you don't have a Twitter, you can still like view the account when we post information about it. So yeah, so I'm really hoping I like this more this time around, but I think we're gonna have a really good discussion regardless. And then moving into Vampathon, that is being hosted by Amy Myers, Taylor at Page Screen Taylor, and Demi at The Weird Collection. This is obviously a vampire-themed readathon, and Becca from the Book Sanctum picked number 17, and that is Fledgling by Octavia E. Butler. I have been meaning to read more Octavia Butler for a while, after I really loved Kindred, like most people do. And this is her vampire novel that is, I believe, also kind of like courtroom drama a little bit, which sounds really interesting. I've heard that this is a very heavy and difficult book to read at some points, so I'm trying to prepare myself for that going in, but I do think I'm going to really like this one or really appreciate this one, so looking forward to getting to this. And I'm using this for the non-traditional vampire prompt. Also, this fits perfectly into the Blackaweenathon focus. I didn't actually choose this for one of the prompts that I'm trying to hit with bingo, but I do feel like this fits really well into Blackaweenathon anyway, in addition to Vampathon. And I'm also trying to read a few books for Spooktober. This is my first time participating in this one. There are quite a few hosts for Spooktober. They are Vanessa at Paper Fairy, Derby at Just Derby Lane, Jasmine at Novel Thoughts, Hannah at Tiny Book Dragon, Kelly at Velvet Library, Kayla at On the Fritz, Starzy Rose, Christina at Christina's Journey, Savannah at Bookish Lifestyle, Mrs. Baggins at Bookcase of Doom, and Katarina at Katarina the Bookworm. I think it's so funny that I'm doing so many Halloween themed readathons this time around because like Halloween has never been like my favorite holiday. Like, I enjoyed some things about it. I really love dressing up and I like candy and everything, but I was never big on like the haunted house type things or like Halloween parties or even most like Halloween movies. But I don't know, I'm just feeling like mixing in a few spooky books in addition to my like cozy autumn reads that I generally try to do. So Emily from Em Likes Books picked number 18, and that is The Writer's Reign by Jessica Day George. This is the third and final book in the Rose Legacy trilogy. I have really enjoyed both of the previous books. I've said before how Jessica Day George is a really great like cozy fantasy kind of author for me. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this series concludes, especially given the way that book 2 ended. I thought that ending was really good, got me really excited about book 3, so I'm happy to be getting to it sooner rather than later. And I'm using this for the prompt of festivities, which is to hang out with the pets, read a book with an animal on the cover. And I'm laughing because hanging out with the pets is my favorite thing to do at any party. And then the last readathon I'm going to be talking about, and the only one that is not going for the whole month of October, is the Tea Leaves Readathon. This one actually starts at the end of September, so technically this already started, but I'm just going to count it at like the beginning of October for me. But it runs from September 27th through October 4th. That is hosted by Mary from Mary Among Stories, Hilary at Melted Books, Sarah from Sarah the Dreamer, and Sophia at Sophia Reads. So Yara at Array of Reading picked number 20, and that is The Forest of Stars by Heather Kastner. I really loved The Bone Garden, which I read from Heather Kastner last year, I think. I really loved that one, and I've been anticipating her next release for a while. I also really love this cover. I feel like it took a little bit for the slightly clown-looking elements to grow on me, but now I really love it, and I think this is such a beautiful cover. And I'm using this for the prompt of The Leaves Are Changing. Read a book with orange, red, or yellow on the cover. And this definitely has, I think, all those covers. Definitely orange and red, and also I think yellow on the back. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a really like perfect atmospheric kind of autumn read. Our main character is a girl named Louisa, and I think she like lives at a circus or a carnival or something, or she ends up going to one. She ends up going to the carnival beneath the stars to try and find her father. She's left all alone after her mother passes away. 12-year-old Louisa LaRoche watches the sky for her father. So it seems like a long time ago, wind swept him away because he has the power to fly or to float, and Louisa has that same power, and she ends up getting a ticket to the mysterious carnival beneath the stars, and she decides to go and to try and find him, and she ends up getting more and more invested in this carnival, and she has to decide if she wants to stay or not, because there might also be some darkness in this carnival as well. So I just am so excited for this. I feel like it's going to be a perfect autumn read. And then finally the last number was number 21, and that was picked by Gavin at How to Train Your Gavin, and I told him that it was so perfect that he picked this one, and the reason is because this is one of his favorite series, and that is The Book Wanderers, which is the first book in the Pages & Co series by Anna James. You can see I have a bookmark just peeking out of it because I read the first chapter a few weeks ago just to like verify that I am in fact going to love this series, which I think I am. And a lot of people have been talking about this middle grade series. Our main character is a girl named Tilly, and she lives with her grandparents who own a bookshop, and she has the ability to, I think that characters can come out of books, and I think in this one it's Anne from Anne of Green Gables and Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I think also Sarah Crewe maybe from A Little Princess might be in this one. I just feel like this is going to be so cozy and so lovely and just about like the magic of books. So I'm really looking forward to this. I've been meaning to start this series for ages. Okay everybody, so those are the books that I hope to read in October. Not all of them, but the ones that you guys chose for me to share when you picked numbers. Let me know how you feel about this new way of doing TBRs, if you like it. I definitely feel less stressed about it, and I also got the opportunity to still share some really great readathons that are taking place. So yeah, I'm like feeling pretty good about it, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that too. And let me know if you are participating in any of these readathons, and let me know also if you like to read kind of like cozy books around autumn time, because I feel like a lot of people like to read spooky books, and obviously I'm participating in like a few kind of Halloween or like spooky themed readathons, but I am definitely like a big cozy books kind of reader. So let me know if you are also a cozy books fan so we know that there's more of us. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye!